Did you know that a simple test could help you figure out whether a stone in your hand is a real diamond or just a fake? In this video, we're going to explore one of the oldest and most well-known methods for testing diamonds, the scratch test. But before we begin, there's one important fact you need to understand. Diamond is the hardest natural material on Earth. This means it can scratch almost any other surface, while very few things can scratch it. And that's exactly what the scratch test is based on. The idea is simple. If your stone can scratch a hard surface like glass, it might be a diamond. But if it can't leave any mark at all, then it's probably not. So let's go step by step. First, you'll need a clean piece of glass, like a drinking glass or an old mirror. Hold the stone carefully and gently try to scratch the surface of the glass. If you see a visible scratch, that's a good sign. But don't jump to conclusions just yet, because there are other stones that can also scratch glass, like quartz or certain synthetic materials. So scratching glass alone does not prove that your stone is a real diamond. Now here's where things get more interesting. A real diamond doesn't just scratch glass. It also resists being scratched by most everyday objects. In other words, if you try to scratch a real diamond with something like a knife or a key, it won't get damaged easily. But be careful. You should never test a diamond aggressively because you could damage the stone or reduce its value. There's another important point that many people ignore. The scratch test is not 100% reliable. Some modern synthetic stones are extremely strong and can pass this test easily. That's why professionals never rely on just one method. They use multiple tests to be sure. For example, the fog test, where you breathe on the stone and observe how quickly it clears. The light test, which checks how the stone reflects and refracts light. And in many cases, they use specialized tools designed specifically for gemstone testing. Still, the scratch test can be a useful first step, especially if you just want a quick check at home. Always remember this. A real diamond is not just hard, it's also rare and valuable. So if you think you might have something special, the best thing you can do is take it to a professional for proper evaluation. In the end, the scratch test might point you in the right direction, but it should never be your final answer. And who knows, the next stone you test might turn out to be a real hidden treasure.